Let's start
Can you
over.
hear us now, bailiff? Mr. Marsh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Wonderful.
Yes.
We're gonna start this over. Court will call 26 CF 241, State of Wisconsin versus Bryce Marsh appearances.
ADA Cecilia DeMarco for the state.
Mr. Bryce Marsh appears for this proceeding by video from the Dane County Jail. In the courtroom is Attorney Tracy Lencioni. This is a special appearance. Mr. Marsh, were you provided with a copy of the criminal complaint that has 2 charges in it?
Yes.
All right. So we acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint. We would waive formal reading. Mr. Marsh, is 615 East Washington Avenue the correct mailing address, or should mail be sent to a different location?
Yes, correct.
So we,
Reviewed the criminal complaint. It does allege 2 felony charges. State's position on bail.
The state is willing to recommend a signature bond in this matter. We would ask as the sole condition that the court order the defendant be banned from having any contact with or being at any physical locations associated with U.S. Bank.
Mr. Marsh, do you have an objection to a signature bond with that you not be at any U.S. Bank location? I'm sorry, I did not hear you.
Sure.
You're fine with that?
Yes, please.
Okay, no objection.
I will then give Mr. Marsh a signature bond. Mr. Marsh, I will order that you not be at any U.S. Bank locations during the pendency of this action. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing, Attorney Lencioni.
Back to Mr. Marsh. Mr. Marsh, you could have a preliminary hearing scheduled in this case within 20 days of today, or if you want to waive the time limits, not the hearing itself, but the time limits for that hearing, the next court date would be a status conference, in about 6 weeks or so? Okay, at least 3 weeks out. Which would you prefer? Okay, we will not waive time limits.
Mr. Marsh, did you hear that? Do you want to have your preliminary hearing soon? Or do you want to waive that time limit and set it for a status conference to get you more time to get an attorney?
Soon.
Time limits are not waived. Your preliminary hearing shall be timely scheduled. We are adjourned. Good luck to you, Mr. Marsh.
And I would just mention, we haven't been able to determine if
Thank
Mr. Marsh
you.
is eligible for a public defender.
Make sure you apply for a public defender, Mr. Marsh, to get that process working, okay?
Excellent.
adjourned.
Thank you.
Next is Jose Guzman, appearing via Zoom.
Mr. Guzman or Winnebago, can you please unmute? And
Bear
let me
with
see
me
your
one
pic-
moment, I just need to get him.
Thank you.
What did she say?
Just a minute, she has to go get him.
I have Mr. Guzman here.
Court will call 26 CM 158, State of Wisconsin versus Jose Guzman, appearances.
ADA Cecilia DeMarco for the state.
Mr. Jose Guzman appears for this proceeding by video from Winnebago. In the courtroom in Dane County is Attorney Tracy Lencioni. This is a special appearance. Mr. Guzman, have you been able to hear everything that has been said in the courtroom so far?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I have received a copy of the criminal complaint that contains a single misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct while armed alleged to have occurred on January 19 of 2026 in Dane County. Mr. Guzman, have you received a copy of the criminal complaint or no?
Yeah, I got it right here.
All right, thank you. So we waive formal reading of the complaint. We have not been able to determine if Mr. Guzman qualifies for public defender representation.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I'll enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Guzman's behalf. Mr. Guzman, you need to make sure you apply at the public defender's office for an attorney to represent you in this matter. It is a criminal matter. You have a right to counsel. State's position on bail.
Thank you. The state is willing to recommend a signature bond in this matter. As conditions, we would ask the court order the defendant be banned from all Madison Metro buses and be prohibited from using or possessing any dangerous weapons as defined by the Wisconsin statutes.
Attorney Lencioni.
One moment. Mr. Guzman, do you have any objection to a signature bond with conditions that you not utilize any Madison Metro bus and that you not possess any dangerous weapons?
Yeah, to get a signature bond, yeah, sure, yeah. I'll be okay with being banned from the whole Madison Metro bus.
And the weapons prohibition?
I guess so, yeah. You can take it
All
away.
right.
It's okay.
No objection.
I will then order a signature bond. I will order that you are banned from all Madison Metro buses and that you not go armed with any dangerous weapons as that is defined by statute. Good luck to you, sir. We are adjourned in Mr. Guzman's case. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Next is Mario Mendoza. Mario Mendoza? Yeah. Here's your paperwork. You stand on the yellow lights.
Buenas tardes, parece que la
This is a public safety assessment report.
Este es un reporte sobre una evaluación de seguridad del público.
That is your.
Esta copia para ustedes.
Court will call 26 CM 235, State of Wisconsin versus Mario Mendoza. Appearances.
ADA Cecilia DeMarco for the state.
Mr. Mario Mendoza is present in court with attorney Tracy Lencioni. This is a special appearance. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We do not need it read out loud in court. And I do have a change to make to Mr. Mendoza's address. It should be changed to 121 South Sunny Mead Lane, Apartment 1, Madison, Wisconsin, 53713. And when we spoke with Mr. Mendoza, he was not eligible for a public defender.
Mr. Mendoza, you're being given a sheet which tells you about how to apply for a public defender and appeal that decision if you believe that's appropriate, and information about retaining counsel. This is a criminal matter. You want to be represented. I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I make a probable cause finding and enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Mendoza's behalf to the charges. State's position on bail.
The state is willing to recommend a signature bond in this matter. As conditions, we will ask the court order the defendant have no contact with Stephanie, common spelling, last initial M-V, or Elena, ELENA, last initials V as in Victor, C as in cat. That he be banned from the 1600 block of Fordham Avenue in Madison, and that he be prohibited from using or possessing any alcohol during the pendency of this matter.
Objection to those conditions.
¿Usted tiene alguna oposición a esas condiciones? O sea, usted se opone.
Lo único que quiero decir es que yo estaba en la casa yo tomé esa decisión de estar con ella porque yo soy el que quería ayudar. Por eso es que pasó eso.
With the kids in this area.
Pero ella trata de quitar la restricción a orden, pero no tiene. Trabaja en dos trabajos pobres y tal.
But I'm going to try to have the restraining order lifted, but if there's no time, she's working 2 jobs.
All right, we have no objection, of course, to the court ordering a signature bond.
Bajo firma.
I would perhaps propose a modification to the no contact conditions that the state has proposed, and perhaps, well, I am suggesting that the court indicate no contact with, is it SVM, that is the adult,
Stephanie MV.
that there be no contact with SVM,
SVM.
except perhaps through a third person and for the purpose of child placement and child care.
El cuidado de niños y custodia de niños.
I will give Mr. Mendoza a signature bond. I will order as conditions that he have no contact with Stephanie.
Stephanie.
You said M-V, in the complaint it says VM.
Yes, I appreciate that, Commissioner. There is a discrepancy there. I think the error is in the complaint unless it's entered incorrectly in protect. The protect entry for this individual is M-V.
No contact with Stephanie M-V and Elena V.C. and a ban from the 600 block of Fordham in Madison, and that you not possess or consume any alcohol during the pendency of this action. Given the allegations in the complaint, the prior underlying bail case for the bail jumping, I do believe those no contact orders are appropriate.
Yo creo que debido al caso anterior, yo creo que las condiciones de no contacto es apropiado. Eso es todo. Pueden ir con eso. Gracias.
Pues sí le puede preguntar en qué lado yo para la persona que firme.
Oh, usted mismo firma.
Next is ELEODORO
Yeah, I
JORGE
have to call someone to sign for me. Said what you sign yourself. Now this one I may have to do consecutive. I think there may be someone through for this case, but I'm not sure.
We'll talk about this.
Well, I usually do this.
Yeah. You say have a copy.
Do I need to do it
Yes.
consecutive? Okay.
Jorge Baez. Court will call 26 CF 243,
Se abre la sesión del número de caso 26 CF24.
State of Wisconsin versus Jorge Baez.
El estado de Wisconsin contra Jorge Baez.
Up
¿Es
here,
es Jorge o Eleodoro?
Eleodoro.
Eleodoro.
Su nombre es Eleodoro. Eleodoro Jorge.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Eleodoro Jorge is his name. Sorry. Comparecencia.
last name Baez.
Y el apellido Baez. Sí, correct.
Appearances,
Comparecencias.
ADA Cecilia DeMarco on behalf of the
La
state.
fiscal Cecilia de Marco por el estado.
Eleodoro Jorge
Eleodoro Jorge
Baez
Baez
is in court
se presenta en la
with
corte
attorney
con
Tracy
la
Lencioni.
Tracy Lencioni.
This is a special
Esta es una
appearance.
comparecencia especial.
We have
Sí.
received a copy of the
Hemos
criminal complaint.
recibido copia de la denuncia criminal.
We do not need it read
No
out
se tiene
loud
que
in
leer en
court.
voz alta aquí en la corte.
I have an address
Tengo
of
una dirección de
423 Lily Drive in Madison,
423 Lily Drive, Madison,
3713.
53713.
When members of the public
Cuando-
defender staff spoke,
Cuando
with
la oficina del
Mr. Baez,
público habló con el señor Baez,
he did not qualify for
Él-
public defender
él
representation.
no se calificaba para representación de un defensor público.
Mr. Baez, you're gonna be given a sheet that tells you about your right to an attorney.
Señor Baez, le van a pasar una hoja que describe su derecho a tener un abogado.
The felony class A matter, you're
Este
gonna
es-
want representation.
Este es un delito mayor de clase A, debería tener un abogado.
No, we do not want to talk.
No hable, no hable.
You can apply again at the public defender's office to see if you qualify.
Puede volver a solicitar en la oficina del defensor público a ver si se califica.
If they turn you down, you can appeal that decision.
Si dicen que no puede apelar esa decisión
You can always retain your own counsel at your own expense at any point.
y en cualquier momento puede contratar a un abogado particular.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint.
He repasado la denuncia criminal.
It alleges one felony charge
Alega un cargo de delito mayor
of first degree intentional homicide.
de homicidio intencional de primer grado.
Does anyone wish to make a statement for the court today, Mr. Marco?
¿Alguna persona quiere hacer una declaración para la corte hoy, señora DeMarco?
I'm not aware of anyone intending to make a statement. I believe there may be individuals listening on the live stream.
Yo no sé si hay alguien que quiera hacer una declaración, pero yo sí pienso que hay individuos que están escuchando aquí pues por Zoom.
State's position on bail.
Y la opinión del Estado sobre la fianza.
Thank you. The state would ask that the court set bail in the amounts and conditions identical to what was ordered at the bail hearing on January 27th, earlier this week.
Gracias. El Estado va a pedir que le fije una fianza y condiciones idénticas a la audiencia sobre la fianza que celebraron el 27 de enero,
With one exception,
con una excepción.
we will ask that the court modify the pretrial service related conditions and make a formal order referring the defendant to pretrial services with the specification that he be outfitted with a GPS and shall not be released if he's able to post prior to that GPS being firmly equipped.
Vamos a pedir una modificación de que el acusado se reporte al programa previo al juicio, servicio previo al juicio y con la orden de que le ponga un aparato GPS y que no lo dejen salir del programa a menos que sea equipado con ese aparato GPS.
In support of that specification, I will note that the DA's office has received pre-approval from pretrial services despite the current moratorium on new referrals for this defendant to be outfitted with a GPS as requested by the state.
A pesar de la petición anterior, le voy a informar que la Fiscalía ha recibido aprobación del programa previo al juicio de que le ponga el aparato GPS a este señor.
Anything else?
¿Algo más del Estado?
Not unless the court has questions.
No, a menos que la Corte tenga preguntas.
Attorney Lencioni.
Abogada Lencioni.
Commissioner, I know that today is not the day for the defense to discuss the information that is alleged in the criminal complaint.
Su señoría, yo sé que hoy no es el día que la defensa pueda comentar sobre la información contenida en la denuncia criminal.
And we are here to readdress the issue of Mr. Baez's bail.
Y estamos aquí para abordar el tema de la fianza para el señor Baez.
Some other information that I would like you to consider is that Mr. Baez, to my knowledge, has no prior criminal history.
Otra información que yo quiero que usted considere es de que yo sepa, el señor Baez no tiene antecedentes penales.
He has lived in Dane County for the last 2.5 decades.
Tiene 2 décadas y medio que ha vivido en el condado de Dane.
He has siblings who live in the area.
Tiene hermanos que viven en esta área.
And until approximately 2 years ago, he was employed doing gardening.
Y hasta hace aproximadamente 2 años atrás, él trabaja trabajando en jardines, gardening.
He has no current employment
Actualmente no tiene empleo.
and lives with his daughter
Vive con su hija
prior to coming into the jail.
antes de entrar a la cárcel.
And it seems the only asset that he may have is a vehicle
Parece que el único bien que él tiene en su posesión es un vehículo.
So I provide this information to the court, understanding that this is a very serious charge.
Yo paso esta información a la corte entendiendo que este es un cargo muy grave.
But Mr. Baez is not, with him lacking criminal history, there is no prior history of missed court.
Y el señor Baez no tiene antecedentes penales ni tampoco hay historia de que haya faltado corte en el pasado,
And considering how long he has resided in Dane County,
considerando qué tanto tiempo que ha vivido en el condado de Dane.
I do not believe that he could be categorized as a flight risk.
No creo que se le puede catalogar como que supone un riesgo de fuga.
So I simply ask that you consider those factors when determining the bail amount.
Y simplemente que usted considere esos factores al decidir la cantidad de la fianza.
There's a PSA report which does give him 1 out of 6 on both failure to appear and new criminal activity scale.
Hay un reporte de evaluación de seguridad de público que le pone 1 de 6 en la escala de fallo de presentarse y de fallo de volver a cometer delitos.
It does indicate he has no prior record.
Indica que no tiene antecedentes penales.
However, this is an Act 3 eligible protection of the public case.
Sin embargo, este es un caso que se califica para Acto 3 por protección del público.
This is the most severe of charges one can face,
Es el cargo más grave de que uno puede enfrentar
and therefore high cash bail is necessary.
y por eso una fianza en efectivo que sea alto es necesario.
I will set cash bail in the amount of $2 million.
Voy a fijar una fianza en efectivo de $2 millones.
If the defendant is able to post,
Sí.
I will also do a pretrial services referral.
Si el acusado paga la fianza, entonces también voy a hacer un referido que participe en el programa de servicios previo al juicio
I will order that he be outfitted with a GPS prior to his release.
y que le ponga un aparato GPS antes de dejarlo salir de ahí.
I will order no contact with Melissa BR.
Y la condición es de que no tenga contacto con Melissa BR,
No contact with any immediate family member of LSH.
y no tener contacto con ningún miembro inmediato de familia de la persona LSH.
That the defendant shall not possess any dangerous weapon
Que el acusado no posea ningún tipo de arma peligrosa
or any ammunition.
ni municiones.
He shall not leave Dane County without prior approval of the court.
No puede salir del condado de Dane sin tener la aprobación previa de la corte.
And I will order a surrendering of his passport or other travel documents prior to his release from custody.
Y voy a ordenar que él entregue o que rinda su pasaporte o cualquier otro documento que le facilite viajar antes de que le ponga en libertad.
Time limits as to the preliminary hearing counsel.
We will not waive them.
Entonces, fechas límites para celebrar la audiencia, no vamos a cancelar las fechas límites.
A preliminary hearing shall be timely scheduled.
Entonces, vamos a programar muy pronto una audiencia preliminar
We are adjourned in Mr. Baez's case.
y se levanta la sesión en el caso del señor Baez.
Next is CAREY appearance via Zoom.
Thanks.
I think we are still gonna need you.
Okay.
For the live stream on Ruiz.
Just gotta call that. You're gonna fit that person first,
Okay.
then circle back so you can talk to the gentleman to the side.
Court will call 26 CF 232, State of Wisconsin versus CAREY CANNOY. Appearances.
ADA Cecilia DeMarco for the state.
Carrie CANNOY appears for this proceeding by video. In the courtroom is Attorney Tracy Lencioni. This is a special appearance. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint, or I have anyway. Ms. CANNOY, have you received a copy of the complaint?
She's muted.
There. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I have not.
All right. A charge of misdemeanor retail theft, a felony bail jump, both as a repeater are alleged in the criminal complaint. Beyond that, we waive formal reading. Is your address, Ms. Cannoy, still 677 North Lake Street, apartment 32?
No, ma'am.
Where should we send, or where should the court send mail?
To here to the jail, I
The
believe.
Jefferson
Yeah.
County Jail?
Yeah, I am awaiting pickup for Cheetah, so I don't know. I know it'll be sometime in the next month, but I am scheduled to come to Dane County on the 9th also. So I'm gonna be moving around quite a bit. I'm not 100% sure. But if it's soon, I mean,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't have a better answer.
Maybe for now, we'll just use the Jefferson County Jail since that's where you're physically located.
Yeah.
Last of my introductory remarks, Commissioner, are that we have not been able to determine if Ms. Cannoy is eligible for a public defender for this case.
Ms. Cannoy, you need to
Yes.
make sure that you apply at the public defender's office for representation on this case to see if you qualify.
I did on the case I have coming up on the 9th. Do I need to call again?
Yes, if they haven't
Okay.
specifically been informed of this case, they will only appoint on that case. So you need to
Okay.
reapply to make sure that you get representation, okay?
Okay.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding as to count 1 and enter a not guilty plea on Ms. Cannoy's behalf. State's position on bail.
The state believes a signature bond is appropriate in this matter and will recommend as much. We'll ask that the defendant be banned from any farm and fleet location as the sole condition of bond.
Any objection, Ms. Cannoy?
No.
Okay, no objection.
I will then order a signature bond. I will order that you are banned from all farm and fleet location or fleet farm.
Farm and fleet.
Farm and fleet locations. And it looks like in the other case, she has a sentencing hearing after revocation on February 9th. So if she were to not waive time limits, the preliminary hearing might get scheduled while she's back.
Just thinking the same thing. So we will not waive time limits.
A preliminary hearing shall be timely scheduled.
Next is Melissa Basilio Ruiz.
Are we done then?
We are. Good luck to you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yellow X.
Hello. Afternoon. So we're not here to talk about facts. Just here for the issue of bail. This is your copy of what's called a public safety assessment report. Okay. You have a copy of the complaint there, I see. I never seen that. Yeah, that doesn't surprise.
Court will call 26 CF 244, State of Wisconsin versus Melissa Basilio Ruiz.
Se abre la sesión del número de caso 26 CF244, el estado de Wisconsin contra Melissa Basilio Ruiz.
Appearances.
Las comparecencias.
ADA Cecilia DeMarco on behalf of the state.
La fiscal Cecilia DeMarco por el estado.
Melissa Basilio Ruiz appears in court with attorney Tracy Lencioni.
Melissa Basilio Ruiz se presenta en la corte con la abogada Tracy Lencioni.
We have received a copy of the criminal complaint.
Hemos
And we
recibido-
waive its reading.
Hemos recibido copia de la denuncia criminal y renunciamos su lectura.
The address on the complaint is correct.
La dirección en la denuncia criminal está correcta.
When public defender staff spoke with Ms. Basilio Ruiz, she did not qualify for public defender representation.
El personal de la Oficina del Defensor Público habló con la señora Basilio Ruiz y ella no se califica para un defensor público.
Ms. Basilio Ruiz, you are given a copy of information regarding obtaining counsel.
Señora Basilio Ruiz, le están dando papeles que le da información de cómo usted puede conseguir un abogado.
You are facing multiple felony charges.
Usted está enfrentando varios cargos de delitos mayores.
Make sure you obtain counsel. You have a right to representation.
Procure conseguir un abogado porque usted tiene derecho a la representación de un abogado.
State's position on bail.
¿Y cuál es la opinión del Estado sobre la fianza?
The state will make the identical request made for the co-defendant, which is that the court leave the cash bail amount and all monetary conditions, save for one specification, as was previously set at the bail hearing 2 days prior.
Entonces el Estado va a hacer las mismas condiciones idénticas como hicimos en el caso anterior, o sea, que continuemos con la misma fianza en efectivo y condiciones como fijaron en la otra audiencia.
The specification I'm referring to is the prior authorization or pre-approval the DA's office has received from Dane County Pretrial Services for this defendant to also be equipped with a GPS at the jail. And we will ask that the court make a formal referral to pretrial services and enter a condition that the defendant must be fully affixed with a GPS prior to release if she posts cash bail.
La Fiscalía ha recibido la preaprobación del programa de enjuiciamiento aplazado y ellos le pueden poner el aparato GPS si ella sale de la cárcel, ¿verdad? Así que pedimos a la Corte que ellos metan ese referido al programa de enjuiciamiento aplazado, que le ponga el aparato GPS si acaso ella sale de la cárcel.
Attorney Lencioni.
Abogada Lencioni.
Since I was unable to find this online and I was not present for the bail hearing, what is the current bail amount?
Puesto que no lo pude encontrar en línea o en la computadora y tampoco estuve presente en la audiencia sobre la fianza, quiero saber qué es la cantidad actual de la fianza.
$25,000.
$25,000.
Okay. So I have to admit, Commissioner, I did not have much of an opportunity to review this criminal complaint, having been delivered to my office shortly before these proceedings began. However, it does appear as though,
One moment. Entonces,
sorry, Jim.
no, that's okay. Yo tengo que admitir que no tuve mucha oportunidad de repasar esa denuncia criminal porque apenas lo recibí poco tiempo antes de salir de la oficina para venir acá.
From my reading of the complaint, it does not appear as though Ms. Basilio Ruiz had any knowledge of what Mr. Baez is alleged to have done in advance.
Después de leer la denuncia criminal, a mí me parece que la señora Basilio Ruiz no tenía conocimiento, no tenía idea de lo que supuestamente hizo el señor Baez. Ella no lo sabía de antemano.
And although Ms. Basilio Ruiz has by far more charges that have been filed against her in this complaint,
Aunque la señora Basilio Ruiz tiene muchos más cargos que le han presentado en esta denuncia criminal.
the complaint is devoid of any evidence that Ms. Basilio Ruiz went out and purchased or obtained these multiple weapons that were located in her house.
La denuncia criminal no contiene evidencias de que la señora Basilio Ruiz haya salido para obtener o para comprar estos armas que encontraron en la casa.
And again, my reading is that the now deceased individual is the person who left these weapons in her apartment or in her house.
Y mi interpretación de leer la denuncia criminal es que la persona difunta, la persona fallecida, es la persona que dejó estas armas en la casa de ella.
It is not my understanding that she brandished any of these weapons or pointed them at anyone.
No tengo entendido que ella haya cargado ninguna de estas armas ni que lo haya apuntado a nadie.
It is based on a prior conviction
Eso se basa en una condena anterior
that at this point is over 15 years old,
que ahora el día de hoy ya tiene más de 15 años
that she is being charged with criminal offenses in this case.
y por eso le están acusando de cargos criminales en este caso.
So I understand that the end result is very tragic and very serious.
Entiendo que el resultado final es trágico y muy grave.
There's no connection or evidence that Ms. Basilio Ruiz knew this would occur.
Pero no existe conexión ni evidencia de que la señora Basilio Ruiz supiera que iba a ocurrir eso.
She has lived in Dane County all of her life and has a local address in Madison.
Tiene toda la vida que vive aquí en el condado de Dane y tiene una dirección aquí en Madison.
It does appear that she has a prior failure to appear in court that is older than 2 years.
Parece que tiene un cargo de no presentarse a su audiencia, un cargo de eso que ya tiene más de 2 años.
And in fact, it is my understanding that is perhaps as long ago as 20 years that she missed court.
De hecho, lo que tengo entendido es que a lo mejor hace 20 años que ella faltó su corte.
So I am asking either for a drastic reduction in the previously ordered bail
Estoy pidiendo que o le hagan una reducción drástica en la fianza ya establecida
or a signature bond.
o que le pongan una fianza bajo firma.
Reviewing the criminal complaint, Ms. Basilio Ruiz is alleged to be a convicted felon.
Leyendo la denuncia criminal se alega que la señora Basilio Ruiz es una persona que tiene antecedentes penales, delito mayor.
The felony conviction is older, however, the nature of that conviction is concerning to the court.
Ese cargo es viejo, pero la naturaleza de ese cargo preocupa a la corte.
It is an escape.
Es una fuga, un escape.
There is a PSA report in this case
Hay un reporte de investigación presentencia en este caso
that gives 4 out of 6 on new criminal activity and 3 out of 6 on failure to appear.
que le pone en la escala de 6, 4 de 6 en nueva actividad criminal y 3 a 6 en fallo de presentarse a sus cortes.
She does have failure to appears older than 2 years.
Ella tiene audiencias que ha perdido que son más de 2 años de atrás,
Misdemeanor and felony convictions.
condenas de delitos menores y condenas de delitos mayores.
And prior sentences to incarceration.
And what was the last part you said?
Prior sentences to incarceration.
Y sentencias anteriores que llevaron a encarcelamiento.
Ultimately, it does recommend a signature bond.
Y al final recomienda una fianza bajo firma.
However, looking at this complaint and taking it as whole and the number of charges against Ms. Basilio Ruiz,
Sin embargo, mirando esa denuncia criminal, tomándolo en su totalidad y mirando el número de cargos contra la señora Basilio Ruiz,
I do believe that cash bail is necessary to assure her appearance at future court dates.
yo creo que una fianza en efectivo es necesario para asegurar su comparecencia en las cortes del futuro.
I will set cash bail in the amount of $15,000,
Voy a fijar una fianza en la cantidad de $15,000
and I will order that if she is able to post, she be fitted with a GPS prior to release through pretrial services for monitoring.
Entonces voy a ordenar que si ella logra pagar la fianza, que le ponga un aparato GPS antes de que le pongan en libertad del servicio previo al juicio.
I will order that she have no contact, direct or indirect, with ELEODORO B,
Voy a ordenar que no tenga contacto directo o indirecto con ELEODORO B
no member of the immediate family of LSH,
y tampoco con ningún miembro de la familia inmediata de LSH,
that you not go armed with any dangerous weapon as defined by statute,
que no porte ningún tipo de arma peligrosa tal como lo define el estatuto,
that you not possess any ammunition,
que no posea municiones,
that you not leave Dane County without prior court approval,
que no salga del condado de Dane sin tener la aprobación previa de la corte,
and that you surrender your passport or other travel documents to the Dane County Jail or Dane County Clerk of Courts prior to release from custody.
y que entregue su pasaporte o cualquier documentación de viaje a la cárcel del condado de Dane o a la corte antes de viajar.
Time limits, attorney length.
Perdón, antes de salir
We
de
will
la
not leave
custodia.
time.
Las fechas límites para la audiencia preliminar no vamos a renunciar las fechas límites.
A preliminary hearing shall be timely scheduled.
Vamos a programar muy pronto una audiencia preliminar.
We are adjourned on Ms. Basilio Ruiz's
Se
case.
levanta la sesión en el caso de la señora Basilio Ruiz.
You can come up to the slot right here.
Next will be Jeremy Gundlach.
Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome.
Gundlach. Court will call 26 CM 237, State of Wisconsin versus Jeremy Gundlach. Appearances.
ADA Cecilia DeMarco for the state.
Mr. Jeremy Gundlach appears for this proceeding by video from the Dane County Jail. In the courtroom is Attorney Tracy Lencioni. This is a special appearance. Mr. Gundlach, were you given a copy of the criminal complaint that contains the charges? Mr. Gundlach, can you hear us?
Said yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. We waive formal reading of the complaint. I think that for mailing purposes, Mr. Gundlach's address should be changed to the Beacon at 615 East Washington Avenue in Madison, 53703, and he is eligible for a public defender.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Gundlach's behalf. State's position on bail.
State is willing to recommend a signature bond in this case. As a condition, we'll ask the court order the defendant be banned from all target locations.
Any objection, Counselor?
No.
I will then give Mr. Gundlach a signature bond. I will order during the pendency of this action that you are banned from all Target stores. We are adjourned. Good luck to you, Mr. Gundlach.
Next is Team BLUMER.
All right, you get a signature.
BLUMER, Ken BLUMER. Here's your paperwork, sir. Please stand on the yellow X.
All we're here for today is to address the bail, and that's it. So we're not going to talk about it.
As far as bail goes, is something that another case before, you don't see my signature on the wood, right? Because I approved it, you don't hear it, so I didn't get it on there.
See what she says. She's the DA. And then we'll have a chance to talk, okay?
Call 26 CF 236, State of Wisconsin versus Shane BLUMER. Appearances.
ADA Cecilia DeMarco for the state.
Mr. Shane BLUMER appears in court with Attorney Tracy Lencioni. This is a special appearance. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We waive its formal reading. I'm going to come back to the address maybe toward the end of the hearing. Mr. BLUMER is eligible for public defender.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. As to count one, I do make a probable cause finding and enter a not guilty plea on Mr. BLUMER's behalf. State's position on bail.
Thank you. The state is willing to recommend a signature bond in this matter. As conditions, we are asking that the defendant have no contact with Dean, common spelling, last initial D as in David, and that he be banned from 900 Park Street. There is a specific apartment at issue here. I would just ask that he be banned from the 900 block of Park Street in Oregon, Wisconsin as a whole. This is pursuant to what has been requested by the victim in this case. I would ask that the court honor those wishes.
Do you have a different name? No.
We can't give them specials. It could be.
That you could get with
I can't.
the preserve the peace with police. You could get your belongings, even if the commissioner orders you not to have contact with your stuff today and the residents. So.
What about my mom? My mom can't try.
I understand.
And she's 94.
Okay, so we obviously have no objection to a signature bond. We would ask that the court order that Mr. BLUMER direct no acts or threats of violence toward DKD, but that the court not order a complete ban on the two having contact. Mr. BLUMER's mother, who is married to the alleged victim, is 94 years old, and Mr. BLUMER does want to be able to see her and visit her and take her places and just basically generally assist her. I don't have a different address to provide to the court for Mr. BLUMER at this time, but should he be released, I'm sure that he can update the court with the proper mailing address. So we would ask, we don't have any objection to a signature bond, but we wanted to make that brief argument about the no contact with DKD that the state has requested.
These are Act 3 eligible offenses. In reviewing this criminal complaint, I do believe that a signature bond is appropriate. That is consistent with the PSA report in this case as well. I am going to order no contact with Dean D, being he is the alleged victim and is requesting that, and I'm going to order a ban from the 900 Park Street of Oregon. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing, counselor.
So
You can choose my mom's phone.
okay, so, but for today, let's just talk about one thing. She's asking, do you want to have your preliminary hearing in the next 20 days, or do you want your next court date set out a little farther? And waive the time. It's not the hearing itself. Time it's each day.
Whatever. I can make it work for me if it's gonna be a room.
No, and I don't. She no longer works at our agency. Okay, we will not waive time.
Time limits are not waived. A preliminary hearing shall be timely scheduled. We are adjourned in Mr. BLUMER's case. Good luck to you, sir.
Right this way.
Hold on.
Is that with Dean, DEAN?
Yes.
Official D?
Yes.
Next is COSMO Smith. COSMO Smith.
We do have a victim wishing to give a statement in this one.
Hello. Just here about bail today, okay? We're not here to duke out the facts, right? All right.
Roll call 26 CM 238, State of Wisconsin versus Cosmo Smith. Appearances.
ADA Cecilia DeMarco for the state.
Cosmo Smith is present in court with attorney Tracy Lencioni. This is a special appearance. We've received a copy of the criminal complaint and we waive formal reading. Is this your address? Dane County Jail?
Yeah.
Okay, could we please have mail sent to the Dane County Jail for Mr. Smith? We have not been able to determine if Mr. Smith is eligible for a public defender on this case.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I'll enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Smith's behalf. Mr. Smith, you're being given a copy of the information regarding the public defender's office and how to obtain counsel so that you are represented in this criminal matter. Make sure you follow through and get yourself an attorney in this case. I understand there's someone who identifies as a victim who would like to make a statement. If you are here for the Smith case, please unmute yourself. Please state and spell your name for the court.
My name is Lola Hilliard, LOLAHILLIARD.
Ms. Hilliard, this is your opportunity to tell the court what you think I should do in setting bail here today.
So I understand you may be cautious or hesitant about increasing somebody's cash bail when they've already been held on a decently high cash bail for a while. I'd just like you to consider my safety because any additional bail directly impacts my sense of safety. The items that were destroyed were of my late parents, so he has proved that he is vengeful and retaliatory against me. And I fear for my safety if he was able to post any bail. So, and of course, I would like the no contact to be. So yeah, please consider my safety when making a decision.
You just cut out, ma'am.
Yeah, I just ended it with saying, please consider my safety when making your decision, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. State's position on bail.
The state is asking the court to set cash bail in this matter in the amount of $500 with the condition that the defendant have no contact with the victim, Lola, Lola, last initial H, and that he be banned from anywhere she is residing or may temporarily occupy. In support of this recommendation, I'll note that this marks the defendant's third open case with the same victim. It's my understanding he is being held on, or at one point was held on, perhaps posted cash bail in the other matters as well. The state believes that this amount being recommended is, however, the minimum amount necessary under the statutory framework, given that this is not an Act 3 offense and this did happen a few months prior. We do still believe some amount of cash bail is appropriate, given the fact that the defendant has previously flouted court orders to leave this victim alone and was placed on probation in mid-2025 for domestic cases, some of which involve the same woman, which indicates an unwillingness to comply with lawful orders. I think, given the record I've made, the state's recommendation is appropriate. I'll ask that you follow it.
There is the domestic abuse repeater enhancer or domestic abuse assessments and repeater enhancer on there. Therefore, any domestic enhanced charges are Act 3 eligible.
That's correct. I think the notes I have were referring more to the underlying conduct at issue not being Act 3 eligible in and of itself. But the court's point is taken. That is correct, that by virtue of this being in domestic abuse repeater case, it becomes eligible under the Act 3 framework.
Attorney Lencioni.
We have no objection to the state's recommendation for $500 cash, nor do we have any objection to the proposed non-monetary conditions.
I will set $500 cash bail. I will order no contact with Lola H. You can't call, write, text, message. You need to stay completely 100% away from Lola H.
That will not be a problem.
Just making sure it's clear. We are adjourned on Mr. Smith's case.
Thank you.
He said he was waived his time limit.
It's a misdemeanor.
I have a CF case number.
26 CM 238.
That is curious.
Hold on, let me look at the enhancers.
I think both parties
Because the
are
enhancer,
correct.
the enhancer increases the penalty from a misdemeanor to a felony. So the case should be a CF. It's misnumbered. Time limits, counselor?
Mr. Smith indicated he will waive the time limit.
Time limit is waived.
Back.
I don't, I think it just needs. It's been filed as a misdemeanor.
Let's keep it with
It's still a felony charge. It's got a misdemeanor case number. That's the issue. Attorney DeMarco, do you have any information on how that needs to be handled to correct?
I don't, but I'm happy to reach out to our paralegal department to see whether that's a correction they can make swiftly after this hearing.
You probably will have to have another initial appearance, but if you get released, it'll be an order in on whatever that is. So make sure you make all future court dates and keep your address up to date with the court.
We'll figure it out. Thanks, guys.
Get a probably the same vote sheet.
Yeah, I guess. That's what happened.
We don't have to dismiss.
All right. I must have a head injury from that whole process. Don't remember.
He waived time limits, so you can set it for 1 second. He waived time limits, so you can set it for a status conference. And then if the initial appearance needs to be held at that point.
Give me just a moment to.
I've been advised as well that the clerk of courts assigns the case numbers, so we will reach out to a contact down there to see what we need to do to address the issue.
I won't let you. You won't let you set it for status on Monday afternoon? A lot of, sometimes misdemeanors track with felonies. So can you do that then, instead of specifically? Oh, you don't have a. Can't.
Do you need the case number on that last one?
It's not giving her the right options.
Oh, I
And she
see.
can't override because the right options aren't popping up because it's a misdemeanor case number instead of a felony case number.
That's frustrating. I'm not sure how that happened.
Clearly, I regret saying anything.
I think it's 2,200. No, that's an initial. You found it? Yeah. Okay. Make a note that amended complaint may need to be filed. And the initial appearance could be held then, but there needs to be 950 compliance.
I'm sorry, what I tuned out halfway through. What was the date on that?
Date.
3/23, like March 23? Oh, I'm sure we'll be able to make that
Get it out by
happen.
then.
Yeah.
No.
DAVORIS E ANDERSON. DAVORIS Anderson. Just been, so, you stand on the yellow lights.
Case numbers 26 CF 201, 26 CF 237, 26 CF 238, and 26 CM 236. State of Wisconsin versus DAVORIS E Anderson. Appearances.
EDA Cecilia DeMarco for the state.
Mr. DAVORIS Anderson appears in court with Attorney Tracy Lencioni. We have received a copy of 4 complaints. What is the case number assigned to the 26 CF matter where the first count is first degree recklessly endangering safety, where the alleged offense date is June 29, 2025?
201.
Thank you. All right. I have reviewed 26 CF 201, Commissioner, and I believe that there is a problem with, I do not believe that there is probable cause contained within the 4 corners of the complaint in order to charge Mr. Anderson with these offenses of first degree recklessly endangering safety and felony criminal damage to property. There, on page 4 of the complaint, police talked to a citizen source of information who had merely told the police that he did not know Anderson's full name, but stated they had seen him in the past and that Anderson and TS have been involved in a conflict. The only other information that I see that could remotely connect Mr. Anderson in this instance with a weapon is some video from Instagram where the date of the video was January 21st of 2025. And that, quite honestly, is the date a video was sent, allegedly depicting Mr. Anderson holding what appeared to be a Ruger firearm. Also a video from April 15 of 2025 that they claim has Mr. Anderson holding what appears to be a Ruger firearm, and reminding the court that the alleged offense date is June 29 of 2025. We don't have any sort of identification from this individual identified as TS, who names the person who he said shot at him and while he was in his vehicle. So I myself have simply just not seen anything that I believe is probable cause within the 4 corners of the complaint in that case. With the other cases, we waive their formal reading. I'll give you a minute if you wanted to take a look.
I reviewed it.
Okay.
And I'll allow the state to respond, but do you want to please stay on mute on the other cases?
Yes.
And waive reading?
Yes.
Do you need a minute?
No, I do have a response. I understand that the allegations set forth in the complaint are fairly circumstantial at this point, but I would direct the court's attention to somewhat towards the bottom of page 5, where there's information regarding a detective's notification of a NIBIN lead notification.
Hold on, I can't hear. What's going on over there? There, go ahead, please continue.
That NIBIN lead seems to indicate a potential link between evidence collected in a different Madison police case number and the test-fired gun with an evidence tag collected under another case number, both of which I believe the defendant was suspected to be involved in. I understand again that this is circumstantial all in all, but the fact that the casings came back with a NIBIN lead that connected to several other shootings where the defendant was a suspect, taken in totality, all of which is also outlined in the criminal complaint, I do believe there's probable cause to proceed here. I would ask that you deny defense's motion to dismiss.
I don't think we should have to look elsewhere for information to create the link. Case numbers may be referenced, particular evidence that police collected may have been collected in connection with those case numbers. Nowhere in those paragraphs that the state points to at the bottom of page 5 make reference to Mr. Anderson being the suspect or the person from whom the evidence was collected.
Counselor?
I'm just reviewing the remainder of the complaint. Commissioner, I know this is somewhat unorthodox, but I am essentially office next door neighbors with the ADA who reviewed and charged this case, and I do believe that his wealth of knowledge on the specific circumstances would perhaps lend him in a position to better challenge the defense's motion here than I would be by a precursory review. So I would ask that we table the matter and move on to different initial appearances and see if I can contact him and inquire whether he's able to make a special appearance. If he's not able to
Yep, we can
appear
move on.
himself, I'm sure he
We've
can.
got a number of other initial appearances. I will put Mr. DeVoris back into the cell if that's okay, and we'll do some other ones until we figure out whether or not that'll be answered.
Bill Young. Mr. Young, Bill Young. Yeah. Bill.
Court will call 26 CM 149, State of Wisconsin versus AKIL Young, appearances.
ADA Cecilia DeMarco for the state.
Mr. AKIL Young appears in court with attorney Tracy Lencioni. This is a special appearance. We have received a copy of the complaint. We waive formal reading. Should mail be sent to the job center? Is that where you get mail?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And if mail could be directed to the job center at 1819 Aberg Avenue in Madison 53704, that would be lovely. And Mr. Young is eligible for public defender representation.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. If you make a probable cause finding, I will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Young's behalf. State's position on bail.
The state is willing to recommend a signature bond in this matter. As conditions, we'll ask that the defendant have no contact with Eric, common spelling, last name Brown, also common spelling, and that he not be within the 200 block of South Park Street.
Any objection?
No.
Then I will order a signature bond. You have no contact whatsoever with Eric Brown, and you are banned from the 200 block of Park Street. Good luck to you, sir.
Next is FLORIN. Now,
We'll need a minute. Oh, good.
Was eligible for SB? Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm just finishing up my notes in the other case too, so I will also need a moment. Okay, we're good to go.
Yes. Is.
Yes.
Florida, young. April. Stand at the voice. Right here.
Hello?
Court will call 26FO187 Dane County versus FLORIN Yankee appearances.
ADA Cecilia DeMarco, on behalf of the state, the defendant appears in person in custody without counsel.
Mr. Yankee, I have what some consider good news. The police department referred up criminal charges against you. The DA's office reviewed those police reports and decided not to charge you criminally. Instead, they've charged you with an ordinance violation. In this case, it's a county disorderly conduct. It's similar to a parking ticket or a traffic citation.
Okay,
If this is the only thing holding you, you're gonna get out today no matter what you plead.
thank you very much.
Sometimes it's a case that can be resolved today. What's the county's offer for resolution?
County is willing to resolve for the payment of court costs only, no additional fines.
If you were to plead guilty or no contest, I would assess court costs only of $114.50 and you'd have time to pay that.
Yeah,
If you want to plead not guilty, that's absolutely your right, and the case can get set for further proceedings. How do you wish to plead to this case, sir?
I guess seeking no content.
I'll accept your no contest plea. I'll find you guilty. I'll assess court costs of $114.50 and it takes care of this case. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
This way, sorry, for this. Next up will be DESHUNARO, KIRBY-ROBINSON for the FLORIN insurance. KIRBY-ROBINSON. Here, where is you? Stand for it.
Court will call 26FO185 Dane County versus DESHUNARO, KIRBY-ROBINSON appearances.
ADA Cecilia DeMarco for the state, the defendant appears in person in custody without counsel.
Mr. KIRBY-ROBINSON, I have what some consider good news. The police department referred up criminal charges against you. The DA's office reviewed those police reports and decided not to charge you criminally. Instead, they're charging you with an ordinance violation. It's a municipal violation. In this case, it's a county disorderly ticket, similar to a parking ticket or a traffic citation.
Yes, ma'am.
If this is the only case holding you here today, you're going to get released today, no matter what you plead.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes it's a case that can get resolved today. What's the county's offer for resolution?
County is willing to resolve for the payment of court costs only, no additional fines.
If you were to plead guilty or no contest, I would assess court costs only of $114.50. If you want to plead not guilty, you can do that and the case will get set for further proceedings. How do you wish to plead, sir?
I would take accountability of my behavior. I was loud, my uncle in the situation, so as a man, I'd take my line. I shouldn't have been in public, but I apologize.
Thank you, sir. And what kind of plea would you like to enter?
Guilty.
I'll find you guilty based upon your guilty plea. I'll assess court costs only of $114.50. You'll have time to pay that. Takes care of this case. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Next will be LEONEL, RAMIREZ, ARRIAGA.
Clerk needs a minute.
And for the Anderson case, I'm in contact with the reviewing ADA. So he's provided me with some additional information. He won't be making an appearance, but I feel prepared to go forward once the court
Do
believes
we
it's
want to do
appropriate.
this other one first and then go back to Anderson and
Sure.
what works for the bailiffs? Up to you. Let's do the other one we were just gonna do and then we'll go back to Anderson.
Perfect. Ramirez, Arriaga. DeVoris.
Just hear about bail today, okay?
Court will call 26 CF 242, State of Wisconsin versus Leonel Ramirez Arriaga, appearances.
ADA Cecilia DeMarco for the state.
Mr. Leonel Ramirez Arriaga appears in court with attorney Tracy Lencioni. This is a special appearance. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint and we waive its reading. The address on the complaint is the proper mailing address, and we have not been able to determine if Mr. Ramirez Arriaga qualifies for public defender.
Mr. Ramirez Arriaga, the bailiff's given you information regarding applying for a public defender and ways to obtain counsel. Make sure that you work on obtaining counsel. This is a felony matter. You want to make sure you're represented and you have that right to be represented. I have reviewed the criminal complaint. It does allege a single felony charge. State's position on bail.
The state is recommending the court set cash bail in the amount of $3,000 in this case. We'll ask that as the sole condition, the defendant be ordered not to operate any motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. The state believes this is appropriate, given the defendant's somewhat lesser of a traffic history in comparison to other individuals the court has seen today. However, cash is absolutely warranted in this scenario, given the defendant's behavior. He eventually admitted to seeing law enforcement officers and advised that he sped up because he was trying to get his license back, and getting pulled over would add more time to his suspension. He apparently acknowledged that he knew it was wrong and acknowledged seeing the lights on the law enforcement officer's car specifically. So I think given that behavior here, it's sufficiently reckless and warrants some protection as far as the community's safety goes, as well as the officers themselves, as these flee and elude pursuits are quite dangerous. I think $3,000 is appropriate. I'll ask that you adopt the state's recommendation.
Attorney Lencioni.
Cash bail is not appropriate in this situation, Commissioner. Mr. Ramirez Arriaga is 21 years old. As he stands here before you today, he has a local Madison address. He's resided in Wisconsin all of his life. He's provided us with a valid phone number, a good address, and he has been steadily employed for the last 2 years at a dealership. Based on there being a lack of any, as far as I am aware, prior criminal history, therefore no missed court appearance in conjunction with the other ties to the community that I have mentioned, and this being a, felony that is at the lower end of the spectrum as far as the significance of the classification, I do think a signature bond is appropriate.
Conduct is concerning in that it tends to give this court pause to believe that Mr. Ramirez Arriaga will appear in court on his own. However, given the lack of prior history, lack of missed court dates, and charge in which Mr. Ramirez Arriaga is appearing for, I will give him a signature bond, and I will order that he not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing.
Mr. Ramirez Arriaga will waive the time limits.
Time limits have been waived. A status conference shall be scheduled. Make sure you make all your court appearances. Good luck to you, sir.
Case for DAVORIS Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson.
We are back on the record in Mr. Anderson's 4 cases. Attorney DeMarco was prepared to continue her argument, is my understanding. Attorney DeMarco.
Sure, thank you. So again, with the acknowledgement that this is a circumstantial matter, I do believe the state has enough to move forward and ask the court to deny defense's motion. So what we have here in totality that's outlined in the criminal complaint is that a car with bullet holes in it was found parked outside the defendant's residence. Casings were recovered in close proximity to the vehicle in question. The NIBIN link that I mentioned earlier indicated a link between both those casings and casings from the gun that was taken off of the defendant's person when he was later arrested. My understanding, that's the same model of gun that at least visually appears to be one that he has been photographed or otherwise documented on social media being in direct possession of. I think it would be a difference.
Talk about the gun taken off his person that matches that. Where is that in the complaint? I see that there's a ballistic match preliminary.
I'm referring to the casings that match from the NIBIN link. The gun itself being the physical description of the gun anyway. It's depicted as what appears to be a Ruger firearm that's documented on paragraph 2 on page 5 of the
I
criminal.
thought you said it was a gun taken off him.
Right, I believe it's the gun that was found to be on his person when he was arrested. I believe it is, Your Honor. I would need a moment to find exactly what portion of the complaint where it's.
Don't believe it's in this body.
Regardless, I do believe the state has enough here, given the link between the firearm in the messages that Anderson is documented in sending on social media, as well as the fact that the complaint does mention what appears to be a Ruger firearm matching casings. It's mentioned in the criminal complaint here. It's also concerning that he was out on bond at this time, although barely. I think this happened about 1 month afterwards, where he was ordered not to go armed with any dangerous weapon whatsoever. And both of the shootings happened right outside his front door. It's documented at the very end of the criminal complaint that the preliminary matches between the shell casings recovered from the scene itself and the casings from the test from the gun that was test fired recovered under a different Madison police number. Both of those shootings are documented to have taken place at the Castle Court address, which my understanding is in direct proximity to where the defendant lives. Additionally, I'm not aware of any rule of evidence or otherwise that mandates that the court is to simply disregard its knowledge from any other criminal complaints or collateral sources here. Again, I do understand that this is a circumstantial case, but defense made a comment to the effect that the court should not be pulling information from different sources. And while that would be true if there were absolutely nothing in the 4 corners of this complaint, I don't think that's applicable, knowing all the circumstances here that I've just outlined and that the criminal complaint makes reference to as well. So for those reasons, I will ask that you deny defense's motion.
Okay, well, let's assume you can pull information that doesn't appear in a complaint. I will point out that the complaint that I believe the state is referencing is the case in which Mr. Anderson is charged with second-degree recklessly endangering safety and criminal damage to property with use of a dangerous weapon. What I would point the court to is on page 2, there is reference to Mr. Anderson being arrested, but that event took place on April 30th of 2025. And what we're talking about as far as an alleged offense date in the complaint that I am challenging, the date of the alleged offenses is June 29 of 2025. So the charges from March 24 of 2025 in that complaint does make reference to Mr. Anderson being arrested. And it says during the arrest of the defendant, a Ruger 57 was recovered. That was 2 months prior to the events that I'm indicating that the complaint does not contain probable cause within the 4 corners. So that argument does not even help the state, even if you are inclined to consider information outside the pages of this complaint.
In looking at the four corners of this complaint, there is a number of pieces of evidence that are alleged. Obviously you have a shooting, obviously you have the area, you've got the casings. And in looking at the circumstantial evidence surrounding that, you've got statements made to attributed to Mr. Anderson throughout this complaint regarding basically attacking somebody in the parking lot at the Kessel Court address. Tying all of that together, then you have a shooting. You have him with a picture of a gun prior to this shooting, and the dates and times, whether they would be admissible in relation to a shooting that happened in June, when you've got an April picture of him holding a Ruger. But for this court's purposes, the admissibility of it is not where it's at and what the court will allow for other acts. It's the totality of the complaint and the four corners and the circumstances in this complaint. I do believe that for today's purposes, it is met, it is barely met, but the circumstantial basis is there, and I deny defense motions to dismiss the charges. Don't believe there were. As to the misdemeanor charges alleged against this defendant, I do make a probable cause finding and enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Anderson's behalf. State's position on bail.
Thank you. So beginning with bail in the 26 CF 201 matter, the state is asking that the court set cash bail in that case at $50,000 with conditions that the defendant have no contact, direct or indirect, with Miles N, MILES / initial N as in Nancy, or Kendra, KENDRA, last initial L as in Lucy, that he be banned from Kessel, KESSEL Court in Madison, prohibited from using or possessing any dangerous weapons, that he report to pretrial services and be affixed with a GPS monitor before being released from custody if he's able to post.
Is there pre-approval on that?
There is, yes. Thank you, Your Honor, for asking. We did reach out and receive pre-approval for him specifically for all of these matters. We would ask that in that same case, the defendant be ordered not to leave Dane County for the pendency of the case and surrender any passport. In 23 CF 237, the state is asking the court set an additional $50,000 cash bail with the defendant to have no contact with Rosalena, ROSALENA, last initial W. They be banned from Kessel Court, prohibited from using or possessing any dangerous weapons as defined by the Wisconsin statutes. Report to pretrial services for GPS monitoring pursuant to my earlier bail recommendations, that he be ordered not to leave Dane County for the pendency of the case and surrender any passport. Finally, we arrive at 26 CF 238 as far as the remainder of the felony cases. In that case, the state is asking the court set cash bail in the amount of $500,000. No contact, direct or indirect, with Marcel, MARCELL, last initial B as in boy, or Mikai, MIKHI, last initial P as in penny. That the defendant be banned from Kessel Court, prohibited from using or possessing any dangerous weapons, report to pretrial services for GPS monitoring before posting should he post cash bail, be ordered not to leave Dane County for the pendency of the matter and surrender any passport. Finally, in 26 CM 236, we'll ask the court set cash bail in the amount of $500 with the condition that the defendant have no contact, direct or indirect, with Tenzin, TENZIN, last initial C as in cat. I can make argument in support of these recommendations if the court would like. Otherwise, I can turn it over to defense.
Make arguments.
Thank you. So as far as the matters that we have not yet addressed earlier in today's proceedings, what's alleged here is a disturbing pattern where the defendant is alleged to be in possession of and be dangerously wielding, save for the misdemeanor case, firearms in multiple different circumstances throughout the city of Madison. Specifically in the 238 case, it's alleged that the defendant fired a gun multiple times into an occupied vehicle after what appears to be a fight over the purchase of a designer sweatshirt. These firearm-related charges are Act 3 eligible. The state has alluded to the defendant being implicated in some other shootings as well. I understand we are talking about what's been charged here, but what we do have are concrete cases where the defendant has been charged in 3 different matters with allegedly brandishing, wielding, and dangerously shooting a firearm that has the ability to end people's lives within a matter of seconds. Given the circumstances, this is absolutely an appropriate recommendation, given the defendant's reckless behavior, specifically in the 201 case, the state having evidence that he has gone on social media and has essentially bragged that he would be justified in shooting people should they meet the circumstances where he appears to believe that that is warranted, specifically his allegations that MF's gonna get blitzed, quote unquote, and that people can be, quote unquote, be blitzed by other MFs because there ain't no cameras over here either. This appears to be someone who is willing to use firearms in a very reckless manner, and in the interest of community safety, I would urge the court to adopt the state's recommendations in full as it relates to all of the cases in front of the court today.
Counselor.
No objection, Commissioner, to the non-monetary conditions that the state has proposed today in each of these cases. We understand that considering just the sheer volume of matters and charges among those cases before the court today, we understand that the likely outcome is that cash bail will be set. We are asking that the court set bail in lower amounts than the state has proposed. That is based on Mr. Anderson's public defender eligibility, which I do not believe I mentioned in my introductory remarks. Mr. Anderson has resided in Dane County for the last decade. I'm not aware of any prior missed court dates. But I do know that he has been represented by attorneys appointed through the public defender's office in the past. He has a young child who lives with him. He has extended family members in the area. And up until a short time ago, perhaps 6 months ago, he was employed at a local company in Madison. The amounts proposed by the state, I do think are excessive, even in light of the nature of the offenses that have been charged against Mr. Anderson. When you consider his young age, as well as far as I know, again, of his, the lack of failures to appear in his prior history. So for those reasons, we'd ask for drastically reduced amounts of cash bail to be set.
Mr. DAVORIS Anderson is young, has picked up a number of charges in that short period of time in the adult court. Additionally, he's got prior cases that are pending. All of these, except one, involve gunplay. And I use play very loosely, dangerous gun play. And Act 3 eligibility for multiple offenses is of this court's utmost concern, and protection of the public from Mr. Anderson is necessary. So starting with the attempted first-degree homicide charge in 26 CF 238, in that case, I do set cash bail and high cash bail to assure protection of the public. I will set that in the amount of $500,000. I will order no contact with, was that Martel B or Morel?
Let me reference that case again. It was, apologize for the delay.
Marel, Marell B. Oh, no.
Marcel, Marcell.
Mackay P. A ban from Kessel Court that you not go armed with any dangerous weapons as that's described by statute, and that you not possess any ammunition. And I will order a GPS monitor be fitted prior to release if you are able to post. In 26 CF 201, I will set cash bail in the amount of $10,000. No contact with Miles N. or Kendra L. Banned from Kessel Court, that you not go armed with any dangerous weapons. Again, that you be fitted with a GPS monitor through pretrial services prior to release. In 26 CF 237, I will set cash bail in the amount of $10,000. No contact with Rosalina W., a ban from Kessel Court, and that you not go armed with any dangerous weapons as that is described by statute. I will order that if you post cash bail, you are to be fitted with a GPS monitor through pretrial services prior to release. And in 26 CM 237, I do set cash bail in the amount of $200 and no contact with Tenzin C. during the pendency of this action. Yep, that's the $200, no contact with Tenzin C. Time limits as to the preliminary hearings in the Felony Matters Council.
We will not waive them.
Those are not waived, and the preliminary hearing shall be scheduled in those cases. We are adjourned in Mr. Anderson's cases.
Yeah, thank you. Do you mind if I just sit down for this?
Yep, she needs a minute, so. Correct.
From what? Just didn't feel like moving the chairs, so just wandered around like it's my living room.
I just want to pass out.
Oh, yeah, don't pass out.
You'd rather pass out not on live stream?
We'll get right up to the last one.
Right.
Cecilia, like.
you, ma'am.
So.
Sure, she was terminated. Hold her for 1 second. Is she still there?
She's still here.
The pretrial service referral, condition on the one case is terminated. All other cases, all other conditions are continued. Given that the warrant was issued last summer, she would have to be waitlisted, and that's just not gonna happen. So that condition is terminated. The pretrial services is no longer a condition of your bond. Daily bond. That's all the. We just have.
Next is Jennifer Elvis. Only the letter of our girls. Record. Stand on the yellow ice.
Hello. Just hear about bail today, okay?
Roll call. 26 CF 203 and 26 CF 240 for initial appearances, State of Wisconsin versus Jennifer COPUS appearances.
EDA Cecilia DeMarco for the state.
Jennifer COPUS is present in court with attorney Tracy Lencioni. This is a special appearance. We have received 2 copies of a complaint, or 2 copies of complaints. We waived their reading. Is the address correct?
Yes.
Okay, the address for mailing is correct. And we have not been able to determine if Ms. COPUS is eligible for a public defender.
I have reviewed the criminal complaints as to the misdemeanor charge. I do make a probable cause finding and enter a not guilty plea on Ms. COPUS's behalf. State's position on bail.
Thank you. In 26 CF 203, the state is asking that the court set cash bail at $500 with a ban from all ULTA beauty locations. In 26 CF 240, the state is asking that the court set cash bail at another $500 for $1,000 total with a ban from all farm and fleet stores. It's my understanding that the defendant's other open cases in comparison to these matters are of a very similar nature. I believe she was granted signature bonds in both of those cases. She has a lengthy history of not only failing to appear, but of convictions for very similar behavior, hence the repeater modifiers in at least one of these matters. I think all of this justifies the state's position on bail in both of these matters. I'll ask that the court adopt it accordingly.
Counselor.
Ms. COPUS informs me that she does not have any money to post for purposes of bail in order to be out of custody while these cases are pending. I know that she is in the unfortunate position of waiting for an attorney, I think, to be appointed on any other pending matter. The state's just statement that Ms. COPUS has a long history of failing to appear in court came as a surprise to Ms. COPUS. I don't know that she has a memory of missing court or having warrants being issued for missing court. If you lived in Wisconsin, okay. And Ms. COPUS has been living in Wisconsin her entire life. She has this local Madison address. We don't have any objection to the proposed non-monetary conditions of not being at the Ulta Beauties or any farm and fleets. But as far as the bail amounts, although relatively low, they are outside of Ms. COPUS's reach, and these are nonviolent property crimes of an opportunistic nature, what's being alleged in these complaints. So for those reasons, we'd ask for signature bonds.
I would note in 23 CM 2643, there's a PSA report, and that's from a while ago, filed in December of 23. It does indicate she has prior failures to appear that are older than 2 years. Also, in that case, she missed court on February 27th of 24, and a warrant was issued. I didn't hear Attorney DeMarco say a long history of missed court appearances. I thought she said a long history of similar conduct. So I did look at those previous cases, and there is a long history of similar conduct that's alleged. But I did see that missed court date and the PSA report, which references other missed court dates. Given that and the new cases, so now there are multiple pending cases, I do believe some cash bail is necessary to assure Ms. Copus's appearance at future court dates. I will set $250 in each case. In 26 CF 240, I will also order a ban from all Farm and Fleet stores. In 26 CF 203, a ban from all Ulta Beauty stores. We are adjourned in Ms. Copus. Oh, time limits as to the preliminary hearing, counselor.
Preliminary. So. Are you gonna be able to vote? Okay, we will not waive time limits.
Time limits are not waived. A preliminary hearing shall be timely scheduled. We are adjourned in Ms. Copus's cases.
Your questions. Okay. I assume correctly that.
Amber Tompkins is here or a.
Ordinance. Court will call 26 FO 186 Dane County versus Amber Tompkins. Appearances.
ADA Cecilia DeMarco for the state. The defendant appears in person in custody without counsel.
Ms. Tompkins, I have what some consider good news. The police department referred up criminal charges against you. The DA's office reviewed those police reports and decided not to charge you criminally. Instead, they charged you with an ordinance violation of county resisting or obstructing. It's similar to a traffic citation or a parking ticket. It is non-criminal. It is a municipal ordinance.
Okay.
If this is the only thing holding you in custody, you're going to get released today, no matter what you plead. Sometimes it's a case that can get resolved today. What is the county's offer for resolution?
The payment of court costs only, no additional fines.
If you were to plead guilty or no contest to this ordinance violation, I would assess court costs only of $114.50. You would have time to pay that. If you want to plead not guilty to this citation, that's absolutely your right, and the case can get set for further proceedings. How do you wish to plead to this ordinance violation?
Would I have to pay the 100 while I'm in custody, or can
Nope,
I?
you would have time to pay
I'll
that.
pay I'll plead no contest.
I'll find you guilty based upon your no contest plea. I'll assess court costs of $114.50. You'll have time to pay that, and it takes care of this case.
Okay,
Good luck to you, ma'am.
thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We are adjourned.
Thank you.